Hello, and thank you for making the purchase. I want to make sure that you get the absolute most out of your interior design presentation template. To help you do that, I have created this tutorial video to bring you through the most important features. If you haven't made the purchase yet and you are considering doing so, I hope this video will help you to see the amazing value this product will bring to your business. You can find the direct link to the store in the description below. After the purchase, you will gain access to 3 files: the instructions PDF, bonus suppliers list, and the license PDF. The instructions PDF includes 2 links to the tutorial videos and the links to the templates available in 3 sizes. If you don't have a Canva account yet, now it's a good time to create one. It's very easy to do so, and it's completely free. I'll leave a direct link to the Canva website in the description below. Once your account is created, go back to the instructions PDF and click on the template button in your chosen size. You will be redirected to the Canva website with a preview of the template. Click on the Use Template for New Design button so that Canva will automatically create a copy from the original. Save and keep 1 copy of the template as your master file, and avoid making direct changes to the master file to preserve its original state. The second copy you can edit freely to suit your requirements, and you can rename it however you like. You have a file naming system in the instructions PDF if you don't already have one. To rename your template, click on the current template name at the top of the screen and start typing. There is no need to save the changes as Canva is doing it automatically. This is a default template view after the purchase, where you customize the presentation and fill it in with your chosen images and content. If you scroll to the last page of the instructions PDF, you will find a direct link to the curated selection of royalty-free images to help you get started. This interior design presentation template consists of 42 pages, and it is broken down into sections which are clearly named at the top of each page. If you click on the grid view at the bottom of the screen, it will open the window with a preview of all the pages within this template. As you can see, the pages are also titled accordingly, so it is very easy to delete pages you don't need, or fast forward to the area you want to work on. Click once on the page to highlight it. From the toolbar above, you'll be able to add a blank page behind your selected page, duplicate the selected page, as well as delete it or hide it. Double-clicking on the page will bring you back to the main editor screen, and this is how you fast forward to the page you want to work on. This template is highly customizable, so once purchased, it is yours to modify as you like. On the cover page, you can drag your cover image into the main image frame until it's placed inside. To do so, use the panel on the left to upload all your images. Go to Uploads and Upload Files to browse for the images on your device. Once uploaded, simply drag these images into the selected image frames. As you can see, I already uploaded mine, and I will insert the image by dragging it from the uploads to the middle of the image frame. Double-click inside the image frame to enlarge, reduce, or to move the image within the frame. Just to note that the images should be in a JPG or PNG format. Otherwise, if these are PDF, you will not be able to insert them in such a way. I take screenshots of all my PDFs, such as plans and elevations, and upload them to Canva as screenshots in order to drag them to the respective image frames. Now let's talk about how to change the text content. Double-click on the text box to start typing. You will notice that a toolbar on the top of the screen will appear. Here, you will be able to change the font size, text color, alignment, transparency, among other features. You will also be able to open the Layers panel by clicking on Position. The Position panel will appear on the left. Click on Layers, which will open a visual list of all the layers contained on this page. Notice when you hover over the layers with your mouse, the element contained on the particular layer will highlight. If you would like to move a certain element on top or below other elements, simply select it and move below or above that element. I will duplicate this text over the image to show you how I move its layer behind the image. There is also another way to rearrange the elements. Right-click on the element you want to move, then go to Layer and choose either Bring to Front or Send to Back. Moving on to the next page. Just as on the previous page, you are able to drag your images into the image frames, change colors, fonts, and edit the text content in the same way as on every other page of the template. If you want to enlarge the text box to include more content, first make sure that it is ungrouped. Then click on the text box you want to enlarge and use its corners and sides to resize it. To quickly replace text such as the client name, project number, and company name at the bottom of each page simultaneously, use Find and Replace Text feature. Go to File, then File and Replace Text, or press Ctrl F on your keyboard. I am going to replace the placeholder company name with Formtide Studio and click Replace All to apply it to the rest of the pages. Let's double check it by scrolling down to the next page. Okay, great. The new information is now updated. Please pay attention and familiarize yourself with the elements you are clicking on. I'll hover over some elements on the Meet Our Team page before I start editing it so you can see for yourself. This is a group. The image frames are separate. The details at the bottom of the page are also grouped. Some elements might be locked so that they are not easily moved, as it is in the case of this decorative line at the bottom of each page. If you wish to unlock it, select it and then click on the lock icon, which will appear above it. The grouped elements can be moved and edited easily. If you double-click on the element within the group, you will be able to edit it. Okay, moving on, I'll skip a few pages as they work the same as the previous ones, and I'll fast forward to the mood board page to show you once again how easy it is to insert the images once you have them chosen and uploaded. How fantastic is this? On the color palette and sample board page, I would like to show you the colored rectangles. These 4 shapes are the actual image frames with a color applied to them. Therefore, you are able to insert the images or screenshots directly into these rectangles, as well as to apply a color. Just like that. To apply a color, click on the rectangle, then on the color from the toolbar above, and select or add the new color or type the exact color hex here. If you scroll down a little, you also have an option of photo colors. This is a very nice feature. If you upload an image and you are interested in a particular color, Canva creates a color palette based on the uploaded image, and you will be able to select it from there. The next 2 pages of material finishes are probably my most favorite ones, where the entire color and material selections are brought together for each room. Before I start working on this page, I will hover over all the elements to highlight them to see how they are grouped. You can see that the image frame and the drop shadow behind each image are grouped together, and the same for the annotations. However, you can easily move them around or ungroup them if required. Let's fill them up with some material images to see how these work. Pay attention to the image of the flowers as it is on top of several other image frames. So for this pillow fabric above, you only have the top part of the image frame to insert the fabric image. The annotations are already partially pre-filled, indicating the type of material for each image, but you can of course change it to suit your project. On the floor plan and technical drawing pages, I would like to repeat, it's best to take screenshots of your plans and elevations, or save them as JPEGs or PNGs for the drag and drop to work properly. You can then resize and move the plan within its image frame by double-clicking on it and pulling by the corners. The paint colors rectangles are created the same as the image frames, so you can either drag an image or a screenshot, or apply a color to the rectangle. On the elevations page, you have the image frames dedicated to your elevation views and the plan. You can also include images of kitchen fronts, accessories, handles, as well as the finishes. Similar features are on the millwork/joinery page, with the image frames to include the elevation view, the plan, the finishes, the handles, and an inspiration picture or perhaps a render image. Okay, let's jump to the pages dedicated to the furniture selections. These 3 visuals, this one, and this one, will be the most suitable for people with the Canva Pro accounts. The reason being is that the background remover tool is only available with the paid subscription. If you have a Canva free account, you can still use these pages, of course. What you'll need to do is to remove the background in another software, save the images as PNG, and upload them back to Canva. If you try to insert the image without doing so, the white background will simply stay as is. Now that this is clear, I'll continue to explain the features on these pages if you already have or are considering a Canva Pro account. Firstly, I didn't remove the images from these visuals because, if I did, the formatting of the image frame would be deleted together with the image. By leaving the images as are, once you insert your PNG or JPEG or screenshot into the image frame, it will automatically remove the background and apply the drop shadow for you. Let me show you this example. I will take this bust statue, which is a screenshot with a white background actually, and I will drop it in place of the table lamp. As you can see, after a few seconds, the background was removed and the 2 images are still overlaid nicely. I will just readjust and resize this item to fit better. Since I can't do it by double-clicking on the image frame because the statue fills up the whole frame, I will just simply pull the corner of the image frame to resize it proportionally. The drop shadow is already applied, but to show you how to do it, while it's still selected, go to Edit, Effects and Shadows. Then choose the drop shadow. If you want to mimic the drop shadow of other images, click on the image you want to copy the shadow values from and copy them from this image to the next one. In this panel, you can also access the background remover, the magic eraser, and filters, among other things. Before starting to work on these 3 pages, hover over each page to familiarize yourself with which elements are grouped and which are separate. As usual, I will hover over the page to show you. Notice that the whole background, including the flooring, skirting, and the wall, is grouped. And the rug is also grouped together with the shadow. If you click once, you can select any element within the group to edit it. You can also see that the flooring is split in 3 parts. This is because if I insert the flooring image into one elongated frame, Canva will distort the pattern and it would end up being way too large. In this case, I am making sure that I can control the scale better and I am able to keep it more realistic. To align the patterns together, I will double-click inside the image frame. First, I will check if I have to rotate it and move the mouse to position the pattern where I want it to be. Then I'll repeat the same steps for the other 2 flooring images. Okay, I will also change the rug image. Let me see. It seems I have to rotate it to change the orientation and resize it a little bit. Lastly, I will replace the armchair on this side with a different one. To flip any element to face a different direction, select it and go to Flip. And you have the option to flip it either vertically or horizontally. I also wanted to mention the custom-made pillow mockup created especially for our presentation templates. With this pillow mockup, you can customize your bespoke pillows in a breeze by selecting a fabric from any supplier and inserting it into the mockup. I will insert a different fabric to show you how easy it is. I used to create a lot of bespoke pillows for my clients, and I wish I had a mockup like this back then. Okay, I will jump to the dining room furniture selection real quick. I just want to discuss once again the importance of the overlaid image frames. Notice the space between the pendant light and the artwork, and that you can insert the new artwork image properly only by dragging it to the bottom of the image frame. Also, the space between the dining table and the chairs in the back is quite tight, so here you will be inserting the new chair image by dragging it more to the top. The last thing would be that sometimes you might have to move an element to get to another element below it. This is the case of this bust statue, where I have to move the table lamp to get to it. I just wanted you to be aware of these few things. On the bedroom furniture selection page, I wanted to briefly mention that I took a screenshot of the front of the bed frame and placed it on top of the pillows, so that they seem to be behind the bed frame and nicely resting on the bed. When I move it, it will make more sense. See? Otherwise, if I just left it like this, it would look unnatural. To conclude the furniture selection visuals, and if you are interested in being able to create your own custom visuals using just images from the ground up, I have prepared a separate tutorial video for you explaining the whole process. You can access it from the instructions PDF by clicking on the Tutorial Video 2 button. The last furniture selection page is perfect for those with the Canva free accounts as well as pro accounts. Here it doesn't matter if your images have white or other color backgrounds as they don't overlap each other. As you already know, upload your images using the panel on the left and drag them into the selected image frames. The upholstery and lighting selection pages will also be very easy to follow at this point, so I will skip them and move on. After the upholstery and lighting selection pages, you have the furniture shopping list, from which I have left one page pre-filled as an example of how I approach it. The table list is grouped together to avoid any misplacements, and as with any other group, you are able to edit every single element or ungroup it if needed. However, notice that the product image frames are not grouped. This is because if you group images which include links, the edit link icon will disappear, and you will not be able to edit the links. Let me walk you through the categories within the list. First is the item number, and if you just double-click on it, you are able to edit it. Next is the product image. Click on it to see that the image has, in fact, the direct link to the product website. Within the template, you will have to click directly on the link to bring you to the product website. However, once this template is exported as PDF, your client will be automatically redirected to the website by simply clicking on the image. Also, at the bottom of the page, I included a note for your client saying, "Click on the image to go to the product website." To update the link, click on the image, then on the edit link icon and replace the first entry with the appropriate link, then press Done. It is that simple. If you have to create the link from scratch, this is how to do it. Let me first delete the existing link from the image. Okay, so what you have to do is right-click on the image and go to Link. Next, enter the direct website address of the product in the first entry here and press Done. You now have the image with the link saved. What I also wanted to mention is the size of the image frames. You probably noticed that some of them are rectangles and some of them are more square. This is on purpose because while certain items will fit better in the rectangle image frame, such as sofas or ottomans, others, such as side tables or armchairs, will not. With details like this in place, you don't have to worry too much with readjusting every single image frame to fit your furniture selection. So you can either resize it or duplicate the other image frame in its place and insert the image into it. Going back to the categories, you have the supplier of the product, then the actual name of the product code and size. Next is the color and finish, for example, the sofa fabric and the leg finish. I also included price per unit, the quantity and the total price. Canva unfortunately doesn't have the sum function, like Excel does, so this will have to be calculated manually and summed up at the end of each room. It is at your discretion if you decide to add the delivery fee to the actual price of the product, or charge the customer separately for it. I added a note specifying this at the end of each page so that you can either say excluding or including delivery, or perhaps delete it entirely if you do not require it. The technical drawing pages are starting with the lighting plan. The legend includes the most common lighting fixtures for which I created these custom-made symbols. You can also see that I duplicated the symbols and placed them over the plan image frame. This is because I resized them to be more proportionate to the plan itself. You can duplicate them and move them around the page freely to create lighting plans quite quickly. I will insert one of the plans and move the symbols around. I will start with the living room and move the pendant light above the coffee table, then I'll place some spotlights around the room. To duplicate the symbol, select it and press Ctrl-D on your keyboard. To align the symbols, pay attention to the dotted lines which will appear when they line up with one another. In regards to the LED strip light, you'll have to zoom into the page in order to grab the sides of the symbol to stretch them. Okay, what I will do now is I will place track light around the perimeter of the dining table. I just want to show you how to adjust the track spotlight symbol to your custom layout. First, I'll grab the symbol, move it next to the dining table, and rotate it. Then duplicate it to the other side. Next, I'll duplicate it again and rotate it to connect it with the other two. I will also readjust the length and the amount of spots on the track. To do so, I'm going to ungroup it and delete the spots I don't need. Then I will adjust the length of the track. Once I am done, I will group the pieces back together by selecting each piece while holding the Shift key on my keyboard, then group. I'll duplicate it and move it to the bottom to close the track. I will also rotate it so the spots are facing the direction I want. Lastly, I will select these 4 elements to group them together so they are one. On the paint floor plan, you have the legend on the side and the colored squares with numbers on the bottom of the page. The number and the colored circle in the legend should correspond with the square and the number on the plan. I have already lowered the transparency of the squares so you don't have to worry about it. So let's use Grandma's China paint color in the living room. First, I'll insert the plan. Then I will select the color to check which one it is and apply it to the square. Then move the square over the living room, duplicate it and resize it so it covers the entire room, and then move number 1 to the middle of the room. If you want to change the color inside the circle, as you already know, select the circle, then go to color and select it from the document colors. Or if you take a screenshot of the exact paint color and upload it, you will be able to find it in the Photo Colors tab. To expand it, click on See All. If you, however, don't see it there, another option is to simply click on the paint color screenshot in the Uploads panel. This will load the image onto the page. Then click on the circle and go back to the Photo Colors tab. You will notice that it appeared on top and you are now able to apply it to the circle. As this is a graphic and not the image frame, it is not possible to drag and drop images to it. Moving on, here is the actual paint schedule. The paint schedule table is grouped together so it can be moved around the page and edited. You have the information such as area, exact location, paint finish, supplier, color name and code, and the actual paint sample color. If you want to change the color, select it. Go to Color, then select the color from the document colors, or upload a screenshot of the actual paint color so that you can find it in the photo colors below. Same as the circle in the paint floor plan, this is a graphic and not the image frame, so it is not possible to insert images to it. Floor finishes work very much the same. Let's insert the plan, then the floor finish image, and of course the number of the floor finish has to correspond with the number on the plan. As our herringbone flooring will be in the living room and in the entrance hall, I will duplicate number 1 and move it to the middle of the hall as well as the living room. I hope it is pretty straightforward by now. We are approaching nearly the end of the template, and here is the explanation of the design process. On this page, I explained and summarized the design steps from initial consultation to the handover. This will enable your clients to understand and follow the process much better. Of course, if it doesn't suit your business structure, feel free to amend it to whatever works for you. Hover over the page to familiarize yourself which elements are grouped and which are separate. I will hover over and click on some of them so you can see it better. There are also 2 pages dedicated to the project timeline. On the first page, the timeline is shorter and divided into weeks. On the second page, the timeline is longer and divided into months. You will notice that the timeline table is grouped, but the time bars are not, so that you're able to easily lengthen or shorten them to the time frame each task will take. I just want you to be aware that these elements can be moved easily around the page. The timeline table can be edited, the font and colors can be changed, so feel free to customize it however you like. Once you are ready to export it as PDF or other file format, click on the Share button in the very top right corner of the screen, and go to Download and choose your file type from the drop-down menu. I suggest PDF Standard. Don't flatten the PDF, otherwise your clients will not be able to click on the links provided in the shopping list. By default, all pages will be selected. You can choose which pages to download by selecting or deselecting the pages in the Select Pages drop-down menu, and click Done. Then click on Download and the file will be saved in your default download location on your device. You are all set and ready to share the presentation with your client, builder, estate agent, and others. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a bright and successful career.